Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing here. So one of the things that happens on this console is there are two network adapters that have to be installed. So if I look over here, I have this 192.168.1.2, which is an internal connection that connects to the button board. And then I have my regular LAN connection that goes to the outside world. So in practice, the pain in the ass is that I have to do all my debugging on the console because that internal network that's talking to the hardware isn't available outside. So I can't get button press messages, and I can't do stuff like set lamps or set the quick key text. So what I put on here was RabbitMQ so that I could have something I could connect to outside the system. And then there's some software running on here now that's brokering the internal keyboard connection and making it available on a message queue. So locally here, I'm running the debug terminal, and what I've got up right here is, let's see here, let's scroll up. So I've got this exchange, and it's called, I don't know why that doesn't want to scroll up all the way. It's called Vista.ScreenMaster, and it is subscribed right now to two sets of routing keys, commands.quickkey and commands.lamp. And then for debug, I've got this actions.keyAction that I'll come back to in a second that's going to a custom queue. So, one of these things, so if I publish a message into this commands.quickkey, or using that commands.quickkey action, we have a routing key, and I put in a JSON payload like this. Hey, I'm making notes for myself. How are you doing? Good, good. Okay, so check this out, you can watch. So I'm going to use this little JSON here that says button index 0, colors green, and then some text. And I got nothing lit up over here. But if I go over and I hit publish.
Dad.
What?
Scorpions.
What? Thanks, monkey. Here's Spaz. You little Spaz monkey. Okay, and then this guy takes an array. So if I go 5A and I copy, and maybe I'll put another one in here, and I'm going to say index, oops, let's go 2, and I'll make this button red, and then 4, I'll make green also. There's a couple of options for alternating and blinking and stuff like that. And then I'll just change this text. I'm going to change it to hello. And then I'll change this one to world. Okay. And then when I hit send to my publish all my messages, bam, I don't know what the hell happened, but my text didn't show up. Well, we'll figure that out. Don't you worry about that. Let's see here. And then, let's go over to here. So this other tab that I just opened up, now I'm going to write to a routing key that's commands.lamp. The command has a couple things like set off, set on. So set off will turn off the lamp, and then key indexes is index-based. So right now, all of my lamps are off over here. So if I go over here and I change that to set on and I publish, and blam, those buttons turn on. And if I go back and I say set off, oops, set off, and then I'll leave one of them on still, so I'll just get rid of the rest of them. So whoops, I'll say set off. Whoops, I guess I'd do the opposite. Set off is just going to turn off one button. So if I look at this and I say publish, bam, that light turns off. Yeah, so, okay, so that's cool. And then I alluded to before, so I have, if I go to my Vista ScreenMaster Exchange, I go and take a look. So I bound to actions.keyAction to a custom queue called DSTest, which has nothing in it right now. Now, if I go and I push a button, and then I'm going to release that button, I can do it fast, it doesn't actually matter. what I should see in the next time this UI refreshes is, bam, there are 2 messages sitting in the queue. So if I go and scroll down, I can actually see what those messages are. So I'm going to say, give me 2 messages, because I know there's 2 in the queue. And look at that, key index 7 was pressed, and key index 7 was released. So there is an actions. What else do we have in here? I guess I'll go find the file for this guy. Wait for it. So in Codeland, you see there's key actions.key action. So button press and releases will go in there. There's an actions.joystick for XYZ motion. Actions.rotary in case I scroll any of these little wiggly doodads over here. And an actions.tbar, which gives me a numeric value every time I move this guy around. So what this will mean is that I'm going to be able to actually interact with my console from computers other than locally on the console, because now I can connect to the message queue. Let's go see if we can do it. So if I take a walk over here, ignore my shoddy looking little area, and so check this guy out. Okay, so I'm connected to my console. Its name is SM3-3216. What do we got here? So if I go take a look at exchanges, and then I go to Vista Screen Master, bindings. So there's this guy. Let's go make a separate one. So let's go DS test 2 we're going to make. So we'll say DS test 2. And for sanity, I'm going to add a max length of 5 messages. Just means that the thing will queue indefinitely. Yep, cool. Okay, so a queue is just a bucket. Nothing's actually being written into it until I wire an exchange. So I'm going to go back to my Vista Screen Master, and I'm going to create a new binding, and I'm going to say, let's take DS test 2, and we're going to say, actions dot tbar. Hopefully that's right. I don't quite remember. Oh, so I have the code up here, so hang on here. I got the code up here somewhere. Yeah. Okay, so yep, that's right. Actions.tbar. So now let's go back to our web page here, and we'll go actions.tbar. Okay, so and then we'll click bind. So bind means that now anytime something writes, which that little translator app on the console is going to do, into this queue, we should get messages. So remember, I'm on my desktop computer. I'm going to go over and I'm going to touch the T-bar. I'll just leave it at a different, kind of somewhere in between the 2 rails, and then I'll come back over here and check that out. I have 5 messages, so I set the max message count to 5, which is why I don't have hundreds of messages right now. And if I go and say get messages down here, and I say give me all 5 of my messages, get messages, check that out. JSON messages with T-bar positions. So 812, 813, that's just kind of wiggling, I guess. Yep, so had I said like 100 or not put a limit on there, I would see it do the entire range of motion. So yeah, that's about it. So the next part, we will go and start wiring up some code that I can debug on my local machine and programmatically interact with the console through the message queue.